of Tuesday, May 27, 2025, to order. Note, this meeting is being televised, streamed, or recorded by Bourne TV. If anyone in the audience is recording or videotaping, they need to acknowledge it at this time. I don't see anyone here. Use of flash photography during select board meetings is prohibited. If anyone from the public wishes to access the meeting, they can do so by calling the conference line 1-929-205-6099. The Zoom meeting ID is 897-1229-3538. The password is Bourne, B-O-U-R-N-E, all capitals. The Zoom chat will not be monitored. Participants who wish to speak must raise the hand icon when the chair asks them to unmute. We now have Liz Hartsgrove on Zoom. All items within the meeting agenda are subject to deliberation and votes. First item on the agenda is reorganization of select board officers. And we can start with the chair. We did get a letter of interest from Melissa for chair. Melissa, do you want to say anything?
Sure, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could read the letter real quick. Is that how we usually do this?
Sure.
It's my first time showing my interest. So, yeah, I did submit a letter of interest for chair. I'm up for the next seat, I think, and that's generally how we work it. And I think I'm ready for the task. So I do hope you all support that. So I just wrote, I'm honored to submit my statement of interest for the position of chair of the Town and Bourne Select Board. My passion for public service, deep commitment to our community, and experience advocating for meaningful change have prepared me to take on this leadership role with dedication and vision. Throughout my first term, I've listened, learned, engaged with residents, always available to hear their concerns, and worked to build solutions that reflect our shared values. Transparency, accountability, and collaborative leadership are the core of my approach. As chair, I strive to ensure open dialogue, encourage diverse perspectives, and make decisions that prioritize the best interests of our town. I understand the challenges we face and the opportunities that lie ahead, but my goal is to create strong partnerships, advance policies that enhance our town's future, and provide steady leadership that drives positive progress. I'm ready to serve with integrity, enthusiasm, an open mind, and a steadfast commitment to the well-being of our community. I look forward to working with the board and the residents to continue building a thriving and inclusive town for all.
Nice. Thank you.
Is there anybody else interested in being chair? Seeing none, make a motion that we nominate Melissa Ferretti as the next chairperson.
Second.
Motion by Peter, second by Jean. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, abstentions? It's unanimous. It's all you now.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Oh, we took over that quick, that's right. Awesome, all right.
You want to switch
I think
over?
we can stay here for this
Okay.
part. It's only a couple of things left here. So, all right, so I forget where you started. So
the next is the vice chair.
Oh, yes. So now we have a vice chair position. I don't know if we received any letters of interest for that, or?
I do have an interest. I didn't submit a letter because I just think it's a role that it's pretty obvious that, to support the chair. And we all share the same vision and mission and goals and want to move the town forward. So I welcome the opportunity to support Melissa in her role.
I love that. All right.
Well, I nominate Anne Marie Seronian for vice chair.
Second.
All right. We have a motion from Jean, a second from Peter. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? All right, so moved. Congratulations, thank you.
Congratulations.
All right, so now we have the clerk. Does anyone have any interest in that position? I know Jean
No
has
newbies.
previously,
No
we have
newbies.
nobody new this time to give that to. I know, it was always
You
our
can't pass it off.
newest person, so.
I certainly don't mind if someone else would want to.
Yeah, it's usually stagger it, we try not to put the burden on the same person 2 years in a row.
I nominate Jean as Arametz's clerk.
I second.
Alrighty then. So we have MJ has, Miss Mastrangelo has nominated Jean for clerk, and we have a second from Peter, Peter Meyer. All in
accept.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed, abstained? Doesn't look that way.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
And that's our appointments, correct? Yeah. All right. Very good.
We have signature cards or the template.
We'll get it ready at the next meeting.
Okay.
Actually, they're all individual stamps, so you get to move them up and down.
We'll do the block at the next meeting, but we have everyone's individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Perfect. All right, moving on. That was pretty easy. So our consent agenda is next. And we have one item on our consent agenda, and it's the Bourne Race Amity Day, the proclamation and the use of Buzzards Bay Park for the Amity Day celebration on June 8th, 2025. I know this is something very important to me, and I'm really sad because I am going to be out of state that day. But I'm so thankful that I do believe our vice chair, and I know Peter's very close. I know Miss Mastrangelo said she's also in Pittsburgh or out of state as well. But Jean is here, so I do hope we'll have a few of us there and someone there to read the proclamation for our good friends. So I don't see anybody here to speak on that. I know it's something we do every year, so we just really need to vote for our consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the Bourne Wareham Race Amity use of Buzzards Bay Park for the annual race day celebration and to approve the proclamation.
All right. We have a motion from Peter and a second from Jean. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, abstained? So moved.
I just want to mark it on my
I'm
phone.
gonna ask if we had discussion, but I think we all know.
Begins at 11:30. So you're going,
11:30.
Jean?
Yes.
You'll be there too? Okay,
Yes.
great. And Peter, you're going to walk down, right?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Jean, correspondence. Do we have any today?
Correspondence,
Imagine
yes.
we've got a bunch.
We do. We have quite a list,
It's going to be a record.
which is okay.
Yes, it is.
Select Board's correspondence for May 27th, 2025. A, DEP letter, draft record of decision, Old K Range. B, DEP letter, draft fire training area, 1 lysimeter work plan. C, John York letter regarding Trails for All. D, Department of Public Utilities letter, 2025 revised efficiency reconciling factors. E, Department of Utilities memo, Energy Burden Phase 2 Working Group. F, email from S. Glinski regarding upcoming town projects. G, Upper Cape Tech meeting minutes for April 10th, 2025. And then H through Z, and then going on from double A to
Double X.
double X, which was about 44 emails.
Except for K.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, except for K, which was North Sagamore Water District letter. Thank you very much, MJ. Those emails were all from people regarding the watershed NOI, notice of intent. They are all listed on the correspondence and in the packet, which is on the town website. So if anyone would want to go and look at any of those letters, I welcome you to. Thank you very much for the correspondence.
All right, thank you so much. All right, moving on, we have future agenda items related to correspondence and other items for future discussion.
I have one thing.
Okay.
I would like to have a response from administration, either as an agenda item or in the town administrator's report on the North Sagamore Water District letter.
Okay.
And I would just note that all those letters about the notice intent will be discussed at our workshop tomorrow, so.
Okay.
That's all I was going to add.
Yeah,
is-
so MJ would like to have a response from the North Sagamore Water Station.
From our administration regarding the
administration,
letter.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Regarding the letter from North Sagamore, and then obviously we'll be discussing the NOI requests that we had tomorrow at our workshop that begins at 3 p.m. for those here, and it'll be here and in person. It'll be here and on Zoom.
And on
I
Zoom,
mean. Yep.
okay, yeah.
All right, so I guess I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right, Peter.
Second?
Motion from Peter, second from Anne Marie. Discussion, none.
Second
All
from
right.
Jean.
Jean, sorry, Jean, I was looking at you. when
Yeah,
I
no,
said Jean.
sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, opposed, abstained. All right, we're good. Moving on. We don't have to switch seats, it's okay.
There's no tag.
We have to,
Gotta wait till 7.
There's no name
we
up
have to
there
wait till
anyway.
7 now.
Yeah,
I know.
that's true. Well,
We'll see you at 7.
that's all I was going to add. And please, everyone.
7 PM. I'm going to call the meeting to order for the sewer commissioners. The Zoom chat will not be monitored. Participants who wish to speak must raise the hand icon until the chair asks them to unmute. Note, this meeting is being televised, streamed, or recorded by Bourne TV. If anyone in the audience is recording or videotaping, they need to acknowledge such at this time. I think I see Jamie.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Jamie. Thank you. Okay. If anyone from the public wishes to access the meeting, they can do so by calling the following conference line: 1-929-205-6099. Zoom meeting ID 817-6356-5834. Password is sewer. All items within this meeting agenda are subject to deliberation and votes by the Board of Sewer Commissioners.
Madam Chair? Point of order. Jamie from the Enterprise is online, as we know. She wasn't here for the Select Board's last meeting. If you want to report out who the new officers are, I guess, in case she wants to write an article on it.
Sure, I can do that. All right. So, Jamie, we did have a reorganization of the Select Board prior to the Sewer Commissioners meeting. And I was nominated Melissa Ferretti as chair. Anne Marie Sarunian has been appointed vice chair. And Jean so graciously offered to take another year of clerk, and we thank her for that.
Thank you. Congrats, you guys.
Yeah, thanks so much, So, yeah, we'll have a moment of silence to recognize our troops and our public safety personnel. Salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have the vision and anybody want to take on the reading of the vision and mission statement?
Read the vision. Bourne is a proud community that embraces change while respecting the rich heritage of the town and its villages. It is a municipality based on strong fiscal government with a durable economy that recognizes the rights of all citizens, respects the environment, especially the coastal areas of the community, and the amenities that it affords. Bourne embraces excellent education and offers to citizens a healthy, active lifestyle.
All right, somebody
I'll
on
read
the
the mission. Bourne will maximize opportunities for social and economic development while retaining an attractive, sustainable, and secure coastline and environment for the enjoyment of residents and visitors. Through responsible and professional leadership and in partnership with others, Bourne will strive to improve the quality of life for all residents living and working in the larger community.
Thank you. All right, so I don't see anyone here for public comment on non-agenda items. Public comments are allowed for a total of 12 minutes at the beginning of each meeting. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes for comment. Based on the best practice, members of the board are not allowed to comment or respond. Do we have anyone for public comment? No one online? You're all set there? Okay. Hearing none, we will move on to the reorganization of the Board of Sewer Commissioners.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Thank you for being chair the last few years as Sewer Commission. You did a good job. And now that you're chair of the Select Board, we need to elect the new chair for Sewer Commission.
You do.
Do any of the two ladies who haven't done it before have an interest?
I do.
Okay, awesome.
Again, as I stated earlier, I think we all have a responsibility to take on the chair position, and being in the vice chair position, although the lift wasn't very heavy, and Melissa and Matt, worked well together in putting together meetings and agendas. I think taking on that role is important, and I want to continue to, align the board's goals and decision-making through agendas, and continuing improving and seeing what the big goals should be this year for the sewer commissioners, which I don't think we really set goals as sewer commissioners. We more set goals, I know, as a board, as a select board, but is there anything in particular that we need to focus in on as sewer commissioners? And and see what direction, we need to move in as a town with respects to that role, so.
Well, awesome. Do we have someone to nominate?
I will
or-
nominate Anne Marie Serunian for chair of the Board of Sewer Commissioners.
All right, so Jean has
Second.
nominated, and we've got a second from Mr. Meyer, Peter Meyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, abstained? All right, welcome. And with that said, it's all you.
Okay. All right, so the next order of business would be the vice chair's position, and I'll entertain anyone who has an interest in being vice chair of the sewer commissioner.
MJ, you want to do that?
I was going to nominate Jean,
Okay.
but I don't know if I can do, I can now, I'm not chair.
You can.
So I nominate Jean if she's willing, of
Thank you.
course.
Sure.
I nominate Gina Jarvis as vice chair of the sewer commission.
I mean, you second.
You second.
Melissa
Right.
was
She
I
nominated
nominated.
and
you. You're
Peter.
second.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
you.
So, nomination, but, Jean, do you accept the nomination?
I do, thank you.
Okay, so we have a nomination by Melissa, second by Peter. All those in favor of electing Jean as vice chair of the sewer commissioners?
Aye.
Say aye. Abstentions, nays, assumptions, seeing none. The vote's unanimous, wonderful. And clerk. I know MJ is currently clerk of the sewer commissioners, correct?
No, I think I was clerk of both. No? Did
No,
we?
I thought MJ was in the clerk role.
Okay.
I don't think, you know what?
You-
Historically, no one can remember who was the clerk of the sewer commissioners because they never get any correspondence. And so, because I remember this with Judy Froman. Remember the year she was like, "Oh, am I clerk?" Yeah.
Funny. Okay.
I
I
think-
nominate
You
MJ
know what?
Mastrangelo.
No,
because-
I think it should be. I think the clerk should be the same. I think it's easier because
But she's
really-
vice chair.
Oh, she's vice chair.
Sorry.
So Peter, maybe? Peter hasn't done
I'll be
clerk.
clerk.
I'm
I'll
all
be
set.
clerk. I've never been clerk.
I
of
nominate
anything.
MJ Mastrangelo for
All right, so I second.
commissioners for the future.
All right, so we have, MJ, do you accept the nomination?
I will.
Jane,
Thank you. Thank you very
So a
much.
nomination by Jean and second by Melissa for the position of clerk. All those in favor of MJ as clerk of the sewer commissioners, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, seeing none. 5-0-0.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
So just to recap, Chair Anne Marie Serunian, Vice Chair Jean Ezrovitz, and Clerk Mary Jane Mastrangelo. All
Thank you,
right.
MJ. That was
Thank you.
Yeah.
honorable.
All right, Matt, an update on the wastewater treatment facility?
So I wanted to, the last meeting I canceled, I wanted to update the board. We're once again having issues with quats at the treatment facility. I'd like to send a letter. We've kind of focused on the businesses in that area because we can get in and kind of speak to them. But we put a draft letter in the packet that we'd like to send to all the ratepayers of the sewer department. We're also looking at adding a chemical at the wastewater treatment facility to neutralize the quats. What we're finding is education is a very helpful tool in this, but there are so many different compounds and so many different chemicals that people can just pick up at the store that have them, that even though we're focusing on the business and they're working with us, all the residents too, as a whole, inadvertently are contributing to the issue, we believe. Because we'll take samples and they'll go away, and then we'll take samples again when we start having problems and we'll find it in the system again.
Okay.
Part of the problem is as we've talked about in the past, the facility just treats so little water in the world of wastewater that those quats just build up and they wipe out the bacteria. So we're trying to figure out what chemical will work best at that facility with the membranes and a cost also, because there will be a cost associated with it. But for the time being, we'd like to at least send this letter out. And we'll probably start adding a chemical there in hopes that maybe as we start testing and getting more education out there, we can back off on the chemical or take the chemical offline unless we see an issue coming instead of just constantly pumping it in the system. But I do think that this is going to continuously be a problem, for the foreseeable future. So I think education is important, but I just want to, I wanted to update the board that we are still having issues with that at the treatment facility.
Have there been other systems that you know of similar to ours that have had success with certain chemicals?
I don't know specifically systems. I know there are systems that have had issues with the quats.
Yeah.
I can get a list of who tried the chemicals and who used them where. It's still a relatively new process because we've kind of done a lot of research on these quats, and COVID really kicked up the level of quats that are out there. And so everyone's kind of adjusting. But I know Mashpee, the Mashpee Commons facilities had some issues with quats. They have a little easier controlling them with the businesses because it's a smaller area to kind of confine to, where we're looking at a larger area.
Right.
So I think it's at least a start. I think we need to start doing that and looking towards kind of being proactive with that instead of just kind of being reactive when we're getting a hit at the facility.
Yeah, question. Do you know which is the biggest culprit? Is there any way to separate out which?
Mostly cleaning products?
When
Or
we
is it
test for the
varied, or-
quaternary pneumonia, we're just testing as the compound of quaternary pneumonia. So in that letter is an extensive list of all the compounds.
Yeah.
So all those compounds can be found in different levels in different chemicals. And then also the names aren't always in the same order.
Right.
Also,
right.
we're finding in the chemicals. So it's we missed a few chemicals when we initially went to all the businesses because they weren't in the same order in the
that long
chemicals.
list.
So there's just so many of them out there that are contributing.
Yeah, it has got to be really difficult to avoid using something that has anything in there.
And I'm sorry.
Mary Jane?
With the cleaning compounds, yeah.
I just have a couple suggestions about the letter. So you have this quaternary ammonia comments, quats.
Yes.
Okay, that's like highlighted. But then I think when it says at the end of that, please review the list and compare it so the cleaning compounds you may be using in your home or business. That whole end of that paragraph, I think should be like bold and italics to call attention to it. Because people don't read this. People don't read like big long things to kind of call attention to it. And to put the list right there. I mean, the list is then like way at the end. It's not with the other stuff. So, I don't know. I'm just thinking
Right.
marketing and calling attention, like
Yeah.
how to spiff this up.
Yeah.
Have Liz do something to like,
Or
And even the recommendations on what you should use instead is also should be highlighted, I think. What's preferred.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, that whole thing from please review all the way through, although it may be harmful, the use of chlorine, alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and lactate-based cleaners would be preferred over the use of quats. That's really like,
That's.
don't use
that's the
these
meat-
things, do
that's
this
the
thing.
meat of
It's
the
like-
letter.
yeah.
That's the meat of the letter.
It really is, so, I mean, because then it's hard to tell, like, you have chlorine-based bathroom cleaners, or you have like sort of Lysol-based and I don't know which is which, but,
Lysol has huge amounts of quats in it.
Well, see, there
But
you
not
go.
all Lysol does.
Yeah.
So there's certain aspects of it.
Right.
Right.
So I think the letter's good. I think I would highlight that last that whole from the please review, somehow highlight it, yellow background, bold, and then put the list right there with it, because that quaternary ammonia compounds list. I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion. Should go right with where you're talking about it.
Well, except we need to keep that cleaning wipes, baby wipes. Wipes are a big deal. So you don't want to bury everything on the second page, but I definitely would highlight that end of that paragraph.
Yeah.
That's clutch.
Yeah.
And we did want to do this as a separate mailing, just because we all know when we get bills, most of us don't read the
Oh, the stuff
Right.
in with the
bill,
bill,
but sometimes if
sure.
you get a separate
Just
letter,
look at
you
the
may
bill
be
and throw it in
inclined
the
to
bill
read it.
pile.
The rest is for the bird
That's what we
cages.
If you're gonna leave it at the end, say, please review the list on the next page.
Yeah.
Or someplace, so they know exactly where it is.
Big
Like,
asterisk
what
or
list?
something on
What-
there.
Yeah.
What list are they talking about?
Capital
Yeah.
letters.
Same color
Yeah.
highlighting or
That's
something like
exactly right.
that.
Please review the list.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the do not flush draft letter to final form, and that we send it out as a separate letter.
Second.
Give a second, okay. So Peter, motion to
We should go to the whole town.
To approve with
right.
the edits.
With,
the
right,
edits.
with
Yeah.
edits, yep. And a second by Melissa. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, 500. Great. All right, abatement request for 16 Tower Lane.
So we did receive an abatement request from 16 Tower Lane, which is owned by the Mass Maritime Association Foundation, Massachusetts Maritime Foundation. So this is kind of the first abatement we've had since the policy went in place last year. So it comes to the department first, and we make a recommendation or review it for the initial abatement. In this instance, they didn't initially supply us all the required documentation, and the building still is not demolished or has a demolition permit. So at this time, we don't feel it meets the criteria. However, I have been in close contact with Mass Maritime about this, and they should have a demo permit in the near future. So I don't know if at that time the board would want to re-entertain this, or there's no way to qualify based on the water usage because they just turned the water off in January. But once the building is torn down,
We can talk about after the building's torn down, and it's been a couple of years, but before, through the chair, I'm sorry, I just think we're setting a bad precedent if we turn around and give an agency that can more and afford to pay the $3,734, especially for what they do to us on the other end. I mean, it was my recommendation that we deny the abatement at this time, because we have residents who are doing the same thing, and they've been denied too, so what's good for one's good for the other sewer users.
Well, if they don't meet the
They don't meet the criteria.
criteria set in the policy.
So my motion is
I
to
was
deny.
Yes,
looking at
Melissa,
MJ.
go ahead.
You're gonna get used to that, huh?
Switch spots.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, obviously, we would want to honor abatements if we had all of the, the paperwork in line. I think the recommendation from our DPW supervisor is not to, so I think we have to go, I would follow his advice on that.
I make a motion that we
Well,
deny the application for
Hold on,
abatement.
Peter. MJ,
I'm sorry.
do you have a question?
I just want to ask, I do have a question, because we didn't get a copy of the bill, I don't think. So this is the bill that goes out in March for the period of January to June of 2025.
yes.
Yes.
So in the period of January to June of 2025, I don't think they qualify for an abatement, because they just haven't completed all those things. But then when the next bill goes out in September, right, for the period of July to December, if they've got a demolition permit or have demolished the building, then we could
Yeah.
entertain the abatement at that time. So I would agree on denying the abatement, and then, so have you made that?
So
already?
Peter, you
I
make
made
a
the
motion?
I'll second.
Peter, motion, second by MJ. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of denying the abatement for 16 Tower Lane?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, seeing none, 500. And is that, are they notified through a letter through you, Matt?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been in contact with them, so.
Okay. Director's report, agenda.
Get the letter?
No, the
no,
letter
we
of
had
support
letter
for
of
the board.
Oh,
support.
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I
yeah.
skipped over.
Do you need that? Yeah, it's right here.
I do, I have
Oh,
it,
you
I
have it?
just
Okay.
checked it off
All right,
prematurely.
just want to make sure it was sent so late in the week.
Letter of support for the Bourne Recreation Authority, fiscal year 26 Community One Stop for Growth Rural Development Fund Grant Application.
Motion that we approve the letter of support.
Second.
Oh, Peter, you got that.
Any additional discussion or any comments? Seeing none? Okay, so a motion made by MJ and second by Peter to approve the letter of support for the Bourne Recreation Authority's fiscal year 26 Community One Stop for Growth Rural Development Fund Grant Application. Please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, seeing none, 500. Now we're on to the director's report.
That.
Thanks.
So I don't have too much, but I do have to correct a mistake I made at the previous meeting. We were discussing 7 Bourne Bridge approach at the previous meeting. MJ brought up she thought it was within the IMA. And when we went back and reviewed the mapping, and town engineer Tim Lyden positioned the GIS software on the current locations, they will qualify for sewer.
Okay.
So we are going to work with them to see if they want to come in for an allocation.
Very good.
And we have a better map now too, an updated map with GIS that we'll be able to use, so we eliminate those mistakes in
Excellent.
the future.
Yeah, because the map of the allowable sewer area is not the same as the map of where the sewer system is.
Is that that's not the recent commissioner's GIS that there, is it?
We utilize that then we superimpose the IMA map on top of that. Or,
Okay.
not we, Tim.
Yeah.
No, we don't want, he does, that's his job.
Sure.
Yeah, he knows how
Where
to
they
do.
gonna, where they gonna connect from? Are they gonna end up going up the hill from Main Street, behind the Dunkin' Donuts and the gas station and go up, or are they gonna?
We haven't even got to that with them yet. We just recently redid all the mapping. So we'll have to figure that out. It'll probably definitely involve the state road and Mass DOT permits and such.
Yeah, with mass starts gonna take a while.
And the other thing I will just say is we're also out again doing our grease trap inspections. So all the business will be doing those, and we're working through those now. We did a little extra training this year, just so all the staff is really in tune with making sure we find all the errors in those. So
Oh, good.
we are out doing those right now also.
Thank you.
Very good.
That's it for the director's report? Okey-doke. Minutes of March 25th, 2025.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes for March 25th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jean. All those in favor of approving the minutes of March 25th, 2025, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, seeing none, 500. Future agenda items.
With the town meeting article approved for the low pressure system, to get all those multiple grinder pumps, I would like to see, just an update on that to see what the next steps are gonna be, since now you have the flexibility now to go and get as many as you want type of thing.
Right.
Anything else?
I have
Are
a
there
question on the allocation spreadsheet that's in here. It wasn't an agenda item.
No, okay.
But I had one question about Minos Barber Shop, because we talked about the Grill and More, and I think it's under the Phase 1, and I just don't know what the total allocation is now on Phase 1, and if they're all building permanent, if they start moving into the operational allocation waiting use category for that 340 Main Street, Phase 1, that they're in there, right? But it's not just Grill and More. What was the Minos? It's just within that,
So it's,
395?
so you brought that up, and I got some information on it over the
Yeah.
weekend. So when that was originally approved, it was approved as 2 restaurants and the gas station in the middle and the buildings up top.
Department.
When Grill and More came in, they took a lot of the restaurant seats. We totally missed that the barber shop went in there, and there was limited allocation for what they could use. Because I think it wasn't a restaurant, or it didn't really bring up a building permit, it never came before the sewer department. So we're gonna look at that. I believe they have about 180 gallons per day left for their allocation based on when Grill and More came in and the other restaurant. So if they're exceeding that based on how many chairs they have for the barber shop, we'll have them come back before the board and adjust their allocation.
It's just a barber shop, not a salon, so.
I don't know, it's
Like I
pretty
said, I
big.
haven't,
Big.
Pool tables and a barber shop.
It's
That's
pretty
quite a
big.
few seats.
I was
Yeah.
shocked how big it was. I was like, boy, that's a pretty
Yeah.
big barber shop.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to them and find out. I think we're still trying to figure out how it kind of didn't really go through the. I think it's because it didn't really trigger, it wasn't a restaurant, so it didn't trigger seats, it just, it was kind of a retail spot. And so it wasn't originally allocated for the whole building, but we are gonna reach out to them and they'll probably have to make some adjustments.
We have 3 barber shops, rotary to rotary.
That's all part of the DRC too, right? The downtown.
It ends right there,
Yeah.
yeah.
And my other question, these are for future agenda items, but the other question has to do with 2 Kendall Lake Place and when that's getting a building permit, because they've been clearing, and Phase 2 for 340 Main, Phase 2, they've been clearing. Do they have the building permit too? Have they paid?
I think 328. Ken,
They came before the planning board last week for modification, which was approved.
For
I
340?
saw that,
No, for like 2 Kendall Ray.
2 Kendall Ray,
Kendall Ray,
yeah.
yep. And then 340 Main Street, Phase 2.
LLC.
Yeah, those two things, I'd like an update in June.
Okay.
You know, to make sure that we collect the money in this fiscal year, if we
Yes,
can.
yes, please. Let's go.
I'm all about the money.
No other business, motion to adjourn?
Is there any other additional discussion about the allocation table? All right, motion adjourned by Peter, second.
Second. Oh, Jean, you
Jean?
got it,
Oh.
lady. Beautiful.
Thanks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
7:30.
Wow, that's a.